We're live. We're rolling. Fred, what's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
Thanks for coming to
Thanks
hang
for
out
having
with
me.
us. This is cool. Yeah.
It's the most fruitful random internet interaction I've had in a while.
Okay. And most people say that when they come and hang out with us. They're like, I ask them, have you ever done a podcast before or anything like that? And most of them are just like, no, not really.
I did one for a while with Artiste. It was half of what used to be the Green Seed.
Yeah.
I used to do his, like every week I'd come on and talk about MMA stuff, whatever was going on with fighting and training and all of that.
Now, does he do? Does he have a podcast currently? Like
I don't
the
know if he's
Vulcanite
still
podcast or
yeah,
something?
that's
That's
what
the
it
same
was.
guy, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
same guy.
Big fan of his. Yeah,
I've known him for a long time, but I don't know if he still does. I've been meaning to reach out because
it seems like he has a lot of different artistic endeavors.
he is Artiste.
Yeah, and I think he's involved with like the Firehouse community school thing they're doing. Yeah, they're like teaching music.
He's a busy man. He's got his hands in a lot of things. He's a good person to have, around town.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, sweet, man. So what you been up to these days?
For real.
Man, just working and kind of starting to train more and just being a dad, trying to raise my boy.
That's a tough job.
It's a tough job, but he's past the age where it's tough. Now it's more fun.
Yeah.
It's teaching him things and doing stuff with him and just having fun.
That's funny you say that. Our friends Alex and Sarah said the same thing. Like once their son Jax got a little bit older, we were on a shoot together. We worked together for several years, and he said something similar. He's like, "Yeah, Jax is finally getting to like the fun age.
He's fun now.
He can we can communicate, and he's like learning stuff, and he's like not just just whining and crying all the time."
Yeah. I have him. His mother and I are no longer together, so I have him every weekend, which I really look forward to because I'll ask him, "Hey, you want to go to the park? You want to go see Lady? My mom, that's what he calls her. She's Lady. You want to go do whatever?" And he has options, so
that's sweet.
We just do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
So you're a trainer at the Garage Boxing.
Yes, the Garage Kickboxing.
Garage
and
Kickboxing.
Yeah,
okay.
Get it right.
Kickboxing and
on,
boxing
Alex.
are much different. Yeah.
One of them you can kick. You can tell by the name. But yeah, I do that, and I train people at Lakeview Fitness here in Birmingham for people in the area that are my friends that want to start working out, get in better shape, maybe learn to box, whatever. I know they don't want to drive all the way to Alabaster, so I'm fortunate enough to be in with that gym as well.
How long have you been training doing this?
I've been doing it for a lot of years, but it was always a side job, just like working in bars and everything else I was doing. But I had a job in medical sales for the past few years, and it's, for lack of better phrasing, was killing me inside. And I did not like
fun.
Yeah, no, it's not super fun, and I wasn't making a lot of money doing it. So I ditched that, and now I just train and I shop for Shipped in my free time.
Sweet.
So yeah.
Now, before getting into training, you actually had a stint where you were fighting.
Yes, for a little over a decade.
Wow. Okay, so let's take it way back.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
originally from Birmingham?
Born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did the whole getting into? Were you in the official MMA?
I got.
Or are there different leagues? I don't know anything
well,
about
I
it.
just started on the local scene, just doing whatever. But this is back in the day before we had an athletic commission and all of that. Pretty much, you could just show up to a place where they were having fights, and I'm not just saying. Yeah, well, sometimes it did come to that. But a friend of mine, James Wall, just randomly asked me. Well, before that, he worked for J-Rag. I believe it was J-Rag, but he was asked to do shirts for this promotion that was having their first event. And he asked me if I would be looking to fight, and me being me was like, why not? Sure, I'll fight somebody. Like,
Hell yeah.
I watch fighting. I've never trained, but I will fight somebody.
I can knock somebody out.
Yeah, under the guise of athletics, I will do that. I'm not a tough guy or anything, and I've never been in a fight away from a sanctioned fight, but I'll do it because I watch it, and I think it's cool.
It's cool. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, he asked me and my buddy Drew, but asking Drew was different because Drew actually trained. He was training in jiu-jitsu long before it was a like super cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So Drew had a fighting history. I am just a dum-dum and will go and fight somebody in a cage for no money. There was no money involved. I just got to.
What?
Yeah. I'm like, hey, they're having fights in a couple of months in Coleman. I'm like, okay, I'll go fight somebody in Coleman. So I did that.
So James hits you up, says, "Hey, would you want to do this?" And you say, "Yeah." You
Hell
never,
yeah.
I don't recall there being any hesitation to saying yes.
dude.
But that's just a me thing. I'm very big on why not,
Yeah.
which is
Good
why-
way to live.
might get my face kicked in, but that's fine.
I mean, you
might
might.
lose a couple of teeth.
I mean, you might trip and fall down the stairs.
Yeah, but you don't have somebody else in the ring that's actively trying to like
Push you down this flight of
punch
stairs.
you down. Yeah, push you down the stairs.
I mean, whatever. We all make our choices, but
dude, that's crazy.
just it's not the way I would advise other people to do it. I would definitely tell people like, train,
Right.
get a coach that cares about you and wants the best for you. But at the time, this was before there was an athletic commission here. It wasn't illegal, but it was like anybody could put on a fight.
Yeah.
Anybody.
All you need is a cage or a ring and a crowd. Well, I fought in front of very small crowds, but
Dude, that's
but yeah, you
insane.
could just show up and do it.
So you agree to do this, and you have
Yes.
a month to get ready. What do you just hitting the gym, or do you do anything to prepare? Or just watch YouTube videos? Like, what do you do?
This is pre the popularity of YouTube. There was nothing on YouTube of anybody that I would be fighting because these are all. I'll say I used to win because I'm athletic.
Okay.
I'm athletic. I got that going for me. I've played sports my whole life. I was just fighting local tough guys who.
So
watched-
amateurs is a fair word to say. Okay,
extremely amateur, below amateur sometimes.
Okay.
If we're being honest.
Just other tough guys.
This is
that are
back
like,
in the
I could
day.
do this.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the stamina. So if anything, you can outlast somebody else till they're tired enough.
Well, fortunate for me, it did not come to that my first fight because I got on top of him and I beat on him until the ref said stop beating on him and I won.
Let's go.
So
So
yeah,
this was a mixed martial arts fight.
Yes.
Where all things go. You
All
can-
things
you can
go.
Kick, choke, punch.
all
whole
the
nine.
things. Yeah,
So how did that? So you said you won that first fight.
I did. Just ref stoppage first round, and for under 3 minutes of work, I was the most tired I'd ever been at that point in my life.
Dude.
I was also later in life. I was 26 when I got into this.
Okay. So how long ago was this first fight?
I'm 39 now, so it's
Okay.
2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little over a decade.
It's got to be a good feeling, though, getting that
It's a
first
great
win.
feeling. Yeah.
Does that just feed the fire of like, all right, I want to
It
do
does.
this
It's the
again?
high that you're chasing your entire fighting career from then on. And then when I got my first like actual hit them and they don't get back up, like that was the new thing. Like that's the new drug that you want.
Dude. So after that first fight, you win it and you walk away. What next? Do you sign up for?
Put me
another
back
fight?
in, coach.
Do you get a coach or a trainer or
Yeah.
something? Or?
It turns out that at that fight, there was a local boxer, Michael Gibbons, who's still a very good friend of mine. He was looking for fighters to fill a card that was coming up in a couple of months. And he handed me a flyer, and that started our relationship. So a couple of months later, I fought again. And I had about...
You say you're not making any money or anything like
No
that?
money.
No money involved.
When I got into it, I had no plans on going pro,
This is
on
just for
making any
fun.
money. It was
Yeah.
just to do it.
Okay.
I'd graduated from college already, so I was working my grown-up job, and I was just bored. Like, I'm not super competitive, but I like to compete. I like to have a reason. There's only so many games of pickup basketball you're going to play
Yeah. I was
I was
before.
about
you
to
like,
say most people go, play softball or something like.
I did that
Go
too.
climb in a ring and start fighting other people.
I mean, I'm a special person.
that's cool.
I'll say special, you can say dumb, whatever. Either way, I started fighting people more often, and I had about 6 fights before I started training anywhere.
Okay.
And luckily, knock on wood, those all went well. I mean, I lost a couple. I think I was like 4-2 before I started training anywhere. And once I got some training and started learning how to actually fight and do things instead of just mimicking what I saw on TV, things got a lot better.
Dude, that's so crazy. I can't imagine. Like going into that first fight, were you nervous or before any fight? I mean, what's going through your head?
I remember for the first fight, I was nervous whether I'd have it in me to like just get on top of somebody and just beat them because I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a super mean guy. I'm not a very aggro person, I don't think anyway. So to just get on top of somebody and just beat on them, I didn't know if I could do that. But it turns out I can, and I did.
Yeah, that's got to be a weird feeling. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
I can't. I've not been in many. I mean, other than like elementary school little scuffles. Never been in like a fight where I'm just like punching somebody.
no. I'd never punched anybody out of anger. I've never been in a fight before
Wow.
that point.
That's
like
crazy.
I've punched my friends in the arm just because I'm a dick as a friend. I
Yeah.
mean, that's still true. But
No, like full out brawls in like a bar or something. Yeah.
no, I was never around for those
Okay.
on purpose.
So anybody like talking trash, trying to like, I don't know. I'm like Alex. I see fights as like I'm pissed. I'm gonna beat your ass versus like
I rarely get to that point.
yeah, that's
Like,
crazy.
Yeah, people talk shit, but
It doesn't like fuel you up.
no, I didn't really do anything because it's just words.
It's all for show. Sell tickets or
that's
whatever.
all it is. So yeah,
I get that.
So you start doing a couple fights. You said you get about 6 under your belt or so, and then you actually start training with someone who's more knowledgeable about
Yes.
the do's and don'ts, and then you start learning the craft, I guess.
yeah, and I became a real I don't want to say student, but I started watching fights differently
Okay.
to pick up on like the guys I like, the guys I don't like. I'll try this in the gym and see if it works for me, and just kind of develop my own style off of what I was seeing and what I wanted to do with fighting.
So where are these fights taking place? I mean, is this
All
just
over
all
the
around
place.
the city, or I mean,
Yeah,
traveling to other
let's
states?
see.
What do you do?
I fought all over the Southeast.
Okay.
Pretty much. I went out to Vegas. One of my last amateur fights was in Las Vegas. So that
I
was
can't
cool.
imagine though they don't have some kind of purse or something that you would win if you.
I mean, occasionally the promotion will like give you free gear, like they'll give you gloves or.
That's not much of an incentive. You really got to love doing it to get out there.
Yeah, I just enjoyed it.
You never got hurt or badly hurt. I
Not
guess.
badly hurt. The worst I've had my entire fighting career was I tore my bicep in my first boxing match.
Dang.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, I've been hurt worse.
I've never torn my bicep before. We've never had somebody just lay you out, KO you, knock your
I've
teeth
been
out.
knocked down and I've been knocked silly, but I've never been knocked out.
Okay.
I'll admit all of that. I've been hit
just
real
dazed.
hard by some large men, but I've never been like completely flatlined, get the smelling sauce, get him
Right.
to come to,
Yeah.
any of that.
That's crazy. So if you're able to get back to your feet, is it like boxing where you're still in the fight?
MMA, if you're not intelligently defending yourself, they'll stop it. Like if you're just taking shots and not doing anything to better the position or get up or throwing shots back, then they'll stop it because they're there for the fighter's safety. That's what the referee is there for.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's at the ref's discretion to
Yeah.
call a fight.
Yeah, there's always going to be like fighters are going to fight. Like
Right.
they're going to be like, "What? I was fine," even though they've taken 14 knees to the face and their nose is turned like a fucking key. Like fighters are going to fight. I mean, I'm very guilty of that. Like I could have gone more, even though this dude's hit me and I am not responding.
Yeah.
Dude, that's wild. So who did you start training with?
Started training with a guy, John Dye. It just so happened that he saw a fight that I was in and he reached out to me and he was opening a gym and I started training with him. It was Champions. It's not around anymore, but it was the same place as a guy that fights in the UFC now, Walt Harris. He trained there starting out.
Okay.
And Eric Anders trained there too
Wow.
when he first got into fighting. They've both moved on to other gyms and are doing pretty well. But yeah, I've trained with both of those. I still do occasionally because,
Sweet. So once you started training, did you see a big increase in your athletic ability? And
yes.
did that-
Yeah. Once
I can imagine like going from zero, just climbing in any ring that will
Yeah.
open the door for you to actually having a trainer.
Dude, I saw a video. I used to have a DVD of my very first fight, and I'm thinking I'm in there looking smooth, moving around. Like, nope, I look like an idiot. Like at one point, my hands are like straight doing this, and I'm thinking I'm moving around, bobbing and weaving. Like, nope, I'm just chopping the air like a fucking
Yeah.
dum dum. But I won, so it's just by the means. But once I started actually training and, like I said, started watching fights differently, started kind of picking the brain of people that know better than me, I saw a significant rise in my skill. And I did very well as an amateur. I think my overall amateur record was 15-4.
15-4.
That's
wow.
And
really good.
Those 4
15
were
wins,
early
4
on.
losses.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, those 4 were early on, and like for a while, yeah, Walt and I were going through the amateurs at the same time. I started fighting a little bit before he did, but yeah, for a while we both did very well. Like he only had 1 loss as an amateur, and I had those 4 early on. But the amateurs treated me very well.
So is there like an official like amateur circuit or league that you're in at this time?
It's just different promotions.
Okay.
Like there's a Facebook group where now I'm not looking for fights, but just to be in it, I'm still in it.
Yeah.
It's called Looking for a Fight, and promotions will be like, we have an event this day, we need these weight classes and this much experience. So that's how people find their fight sometimes. Or your coach or manager has an in with a promotion, and they'll hit you up and be like, hey, we have this guy. He fights at 185, willing to fight at another weight if he can just get a fight. So it's a lot of different
Just lining up the
situations.
fights, I guess. And
It's a lot of
finding
moving
fighters.
parts. Sometimes it's easy, like, hey, you want to fight this dude? Cool. You can go fight that dude.
Yeah.
And sometimes there might be a guy that's a bit of a monster and nobody wants to fight that dude.
Right.
Yeah.
So people back out. You want somebody on reserve, that kind of thing.
Dude, that's crazy. Is it just anybody like Bob's Barbecue is putting on a fight in the back parking lot or anything like that?
No, now that there's a commission, everything's licensed and way more professional.
Okay.
So no heavy ultra fight
Yeah, we're not going to have a.
I mean, you can do whatever you want to do.
league or whatever.
Yeah, I'll fight somebody in this basement. I don't care.
Let's go.
I've got free time
I don't want to fight you.
The heavy ultra fight circuit coming soon.
that has a ring to it. I would wear that shirt and I would promote that.
Okay.
We have a buddy. He's got another production studio. He's got an octagon in his studio. We'll
Are you
go there.
serious?
Yeah, it's in Birmingham. It's over on North Side.
I need to know this.
We'll go
buddy.
there. We've shot some music videos there.
Uh-huh.
I bet he'd let us fight there.
Let us fight? Oh, we ain't fight. I'm not fighting there.
You say you're not fighting.
Come on, brother.
Dude, I have no interest in.
We're the main event. Come
Nah,
on.
man.
See brothers duke it out.
No.
Come
It'd be
on.
like the movie Warrior, except
That was a good movie.
you can
I like
pick
that
who's
movie.
Tom Hardy and who's the other guy.
Yeah, I'd be the other guy.
Well, Tom Hardy walked away, didn't he? So I'd be the other guy. It's been a while. Either way, it's good you backed out because I'd beat your ass.
Yeah, probably would.
Oh, let's go.
You're just gonna take that.
I'll just take
He
it.
is.
That's fine.
I'm the younger brother too.
Yeah.
That's right.
As
So
a fellow younger brother, yeah, I'll back him.
Let's go.
okay, we all have at it.
I'll come to you for training.
I'm available.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, back on track. Sorry.
So tell me about the training. When you train someone who's walking in fresh, myself, for example, if we're going to start this fight league, I guess I need to start training.
He'd tell you to turn and walk away. You already backed out of your first fight. You
I can still train.
See,
that.
as a trainer, I'm here to build his confidence.
No.
So he says he's walking out, but he showed up to the gym, so that shows he wants to, somewhere in his heart.
Okay.
So what do you do with someone who's walking in fresh? What's something you start out with, and what do you actually train in your kickboxing facility? Are you training people how to
Whoop ass.
like? Are they
Yes.
just doing it for exercise, or are they
Most
actually
people, yeah.
they're training for?
Yeah, they're just doing it to get in shape, learn a new skill. Like I said, cardio is the most boring part of working out. So anyway, you can kind of trick yourself into doing it. It's fine. Like some people like riding bikes. Some people just enjoy running. Boxing and kickboxing brings a lot of calories. You can lose some weight, get in better shape, and gain a new skill.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So I know there's like an actual, like you said, skill involved, and I've seen some of the videos you posted on your social media, like holding the pads, and
Yeah.
people boxing it and stuff. But you're not training any actual fighters.
A few people at the garage. I still train people there, and if somebody hits me up, they say they want to do some pad work or do whatever, I'm available for them. I've had fighters from other gyms that reach out, say they want to get a few rounds in, or some guys that I used to train with back in the day that just want to get back in fighting shape, maybe want to fight again, just want to ease into it, just get together with me and we go a few rounds and do some stuff.
So how long did you? All right. So getting back into your fighting career,
Yes.
You've got a trainer. You start working your way through the amateur circuit. You said you did like went 15-4.
Yeah.
You didn't sustain any major injuries, I guess, during that time.
No, none at that time.
So what was the next step? I mean, at any time during this amateur circuit that you're doing, is there any prospect in your mind of like, hey, maybe I can make a career out of this, or maybe I can start making a little money here and there?
I mean, in the dreamer side of my brain is like, yeah, you can make it to the UFC. You've got skills. You trained hard. But essentially, I ran out of people to fight around here that were within my weight class. So I did go pro in 2010.
Wow. Okay.
And just because of some poor, I'm not gonna put it all on them. I lost the fights. I lost my first 4 pro fights just because I was fighting guys I shouldn't have been fighting anyway. So my first professional fight was against a guy that already had 10 professional fights.
Oh wow!
So,
So
like,
it's like a big step to go.
it's a
into.
huge step. It's like
Did you think you were ready for that first pro fight, or did you have some
you're not
hesitations?
gonna. My fighter brain is like, yeah, I can beat anybody.
Yeah,
like,
if I
like
set
said,
my mind to it, I can do it.
yeah, fighters are gonna fight. Like,
Yeah.
I fought plenty of. I fought out of my weight class. I fought guys that were like, on the path to being the guy. Just because my former coach, he would just like, we got a guy in that weight class, throw him in there, let him fight, which is not it's part of a coach/manager's job. But in hindsight, I would have handled things differently.
Yeah.
So, but I fought the fights. I learned a lot in those. Still fun. No major injuries. And just kind of kept plugging on.
So you just kind of have to take the fights, I guess you can get. I mean, when you first jump into the
from a
pros,
very small gym with no backing, with no promotion backing us, because at the
your
time,
name's not out there.
no,
you know,
and we didn't have any home promotions here in Alabama that were putting on fights because we didn't have an athletic commission yet.
Okay.
We didn't get an athletic commission until I want to say like 2013. I may be wrong.
Okay.
13, 14, something around that. But so I was fighting usually in the other guy's hometown under a promotion that has his back. So they
Right.
want him to win.
They want him to win, and
Yeah,
he
he's
did
putting
it.
asses in the seats.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, they want the crowd to cheer for him and come back and cheer for him so they can get that ticket money. And he looks great. He may move to the next level, and they can say, "Hey, we have this guy here. You could be the next whoever this is."
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, but I mean, it's always a bummer to lose, but I just kept training, kept pushing through, and I finally got my first pro win. And it just validated myself.
Yeah.
Like I can do this. I can fucking do this. I can beat people at this level. It's still on the regional circuit, but it's the pros, so it's a bit of a step up.
Sure.
Even if nothing else, the rounds are longer because in amateurs there's 3-minute rounds. And professional, there's 5, and that's a long ass 2 extra minutes if you're like in the midst of trying to beat somebody up.
Man, I bet, dude. Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like an exhausting lifetime, but
Yeah.
man, endless. When you said you lost the first 4 that you fought, so was it that 5th fight that was your first pro win?
First professional win, yeah.
Okay, we have a video, and I want to pull this up real quick, Katie. If you click on this link, it's a KO of you knocking this dude out in like 10 seconds. Like half the video is already over.
That was a good night.
What stage of your career was this? And you can just hit play where it's at, Katie. I think I queued it up.
I was very excited because though we'd had a athletic commission for a few years, kickboxing wasn't regulated. So
Okay.
this was the night of the first. I was the second professional kickboxing match in Alabama.
Second professional kickboxing
Yeah,
match in Alabama.
yeah. Some guys
Wow,
fought
dude.
before me, and then
So
I
look,
fought
you guys
this
touch
dude.
gloves.
Yeah.
And then a little side swipe there. Nope.
Beep,
Nope.
beep,
Boom.
He's down.
So it's
Yeah.
like third contact with the glove, and he's down. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Well, I'd seen him fight before, and I like to watch fight video on people that I'm going to fight just to do some research. And he kind of did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He came in with his chin up.
He
and
got that weak chin, boy.
I don't know if it's weak or I just hit him solid.
Dude, I think you
a
just
little
hit
bit of
him
A, a little
solid.
bit of B.
That's crazy. So what fight was this? Any idea?
By this time, I'd already done a lot of professional mixed martial arts and some boxing.
Okay.
So, like that night, I actually retired.
Really?
But then because my son had just been born, and
Okay, so we're fast forwarding a lot with this video.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, this is a lot of years down the line when I had more
But
dumb
man, you
tattoos.
did it for a long time, man. That's
Yeah.
got to be. It just seems like it's not like any other sport where you're like biking or playing tennis. Like,
Yeah.
To be in that kind of league and to even see people in the UFC who've had these long careers,
Yeah,
it's like amazing that their
it's crazy
bodies
for
can-
people at that level to be
Yeah.
around that long because like it says something about them.
That's
like,
crazy.
You got to be tough, very tough. But I'm fortunate to have done it that long, and I mean, I'll be 40 this year, and if somebody wants to fight me, I mean, I'll fight them. I don't care. Because I retired that night too, because I just had my son. He was a
Yeah.
little boy, and I wanted to be around for him. So time training was time away from him, and I wanted to be there for my family. And my dad wasn't around growing up, so I really want to be a really good dad, and I
Sure.
want to, want him to know I love him and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like a couple of years, like maybe a year and a half later, he grew up some, got more independent. I got a new job and was working one job for the first time in a lot of years. So I had time to train again, and I took another fight. Did not go my way. I thought I broke my foot. So
Ooh.
yeah, that did suck. Sucked way more than the bicep.
Dang.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a brutal sport, man. That's crazy.
Eh.
So I can imagine training slightly easier on your body.
Yeah.
How long have you, and I may have asked this earlier, but how long have you been at the two gyms that you're working at currently?
I left my sales job in, I want to say it was March. So yeah, I just been doing that. Like I'd already been doing it on the side. So when I decided to make that step away from the sales job, I just do them more now.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I tell people like, if you want to get a session with me, wherever you are, I can be there. Like I train a couple of people in their garage.
Now, do you know any other like martial arts forms like jiu-jitsu or any of these
I
other
do. Like I know them well enough to apply them to myself. I'm not schooled enough to teach them.
Okay.
Like I'm more of a stand-up guy. That was always my focus when I was fighting. So stand-up to me is more fun.
Yeah.
So I want to do that more.
Yeah, I think I read your bio on the garage and it said like you specialize in like striking or
Yeah.
whatever that means. I guess
Yeah.
that's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Instead of being more like a grappling type fighter,
Yeah.
I guess that
Yeah,
you
there
see
are
these
people
guys
that-
just roll around on the floor.
Yeah, it's very violent rolling around on the floor.
Very violent, yeah. Well, that's cool. So you got a lot of tattoos, obviously. I've seen.
I got a few.
Got a few, and I know you're tight with the Good Neighbor guys.
I am.
Have they done most of your tattoos that you gotten, or you just got them
I
all
think
over the
it's
place?
been a split between a lot of them and a lot of the guys at Nonstop Art.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
and-
got any tattoos over there.
Yeah, NSA.
Yeah.
Nonstop Art.
I think Shane is one
Yeah,
of the
Shane.
main
Yeah,
guys
Shane,
over
Terry,
there.
Yes.
and Chad.
Yeah.
Like Chad did most of this arm. Chad did my chest. Terry did my stomach.
Yeah, those
Shane's
guys are
done
rad.
different stuff. Yeah, they're awesome.
Now you mentioned earlier, were you like a doorman at like some local bars around town and stuff? Because you seem to know a lot of the same people.
A lot of local bars.
lot of
That's
local bars.
that's the reason I know so many people, because I've been working in bars for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. After we scheduled this podcast, I was kind of doing a deep dive, and I was like, dude, we like know all the same people, but I've never met you. So
I've
cool.
probably
Thanks for
checked
coming
your
on.
ID before and be like, all right, man.
That's
you're
what I was
good."
going to say. You've probably checked
More
your
than
IDs.
likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
are you still doing that?
Not at the moment. No, I was doing it at a few places in town pre-COVID. Then when that happened, all the bars shut down. So I just haven't gone back to it. Haven't had to. I've enjoyed having regular working hours.
Sure.
More regular working hours. So
You don't like working till 4 a.m. and
it's not my
keeping
favorite.
the drunk people. that
I'll do
need
it
to
if I
go
have
home?
to,
Yeah.
but it's not my first choice of things to do.
Now, where did you any war stories from doing that?
Man, I learned after doing it for a while, I learned the best way to break up a fight between two people is just talk to them like children.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
It's no real war stories. I mean, I have had to
You of all people, the MMA fighter, not having to get in there and like
'Cause I
and
don't
choke
want
some
to.
dude out. Yeah.
like one of my favorite ones. There were these two guys at Saturn, like they were just jawing at each other in front of the stage. I just went over like, hey, they were both big guys. I'm like, hey, you either break it up or just fucking separate. I don't give a shit. And I just walked away, and they both like came up to me later and apologized.
Really?
It's like,
hey man,
I
we're
don't-
sorry.
Yeah, I'm like,
Just
"Oh,
glad
I
you
was-
didn't kick us out.
Yeah, I was being an asshole, man. Blah blah blah. It's a lot of that. I was like,
funny.
hey man, just chill the fuck out.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's a lot of people. Like, I don't want to start beef with that guy. I'm like, I'm over here looking at pictures of cats on my phone. I don't want to start beef with anybody.
Dude, every time I go to like a bar and I see the dude that's has to work the door, he just looks so bored out of his mind. I always wonder if things like get crazy, like what you see on like TV shows and
It's
stuff.
occasional.
Not that
It's-
I've ever seen.
It's not every night Roadhouse, thank
Roadhouse,
God.
yeah.
But it can get rowdy. I've seen a few busted heads, not by my hand.
Now, where did you work around town?
Let's see. The first I worked at Zydeco, Speakeasy, Black Market, Iron City.
That's crazy because
I've worked a lot of places, man.
I've seen shows at Zydeco where they throw people out of the show and they literally throw them down both flights of stairs.
Yeah, Zydeco.
That doesn't sound like you
Not
at
it.
all. Okay.
Not it. Never did that.
I've seen guys take people from the stage all the way out down that first flight, go down, pick him up, and then throw him down the second flight.
I heard a story once that I knocked a guy out. I heard this story.
Okay.
This story it was not based in truth,
Okay.
but I've heard a lot of stories about myself that were not based in truth. So it's whatever.
Okay.
That's cool.
I'm not like I said, I'm not a super tough guy. I don't want to beat people up.
Yeah.
Well, you have that look though. You fit the profile of like somebody that's going to guard the door. Were you ever like a bartender or anything? Or?
No, I did not want to deal with people in that capacity.
Okay. So
Like,
you're
hey man,
strictly
what's
like
up?
bar guy.
You want a beer? Because that's all I'm going to give you. I don't want to learn to make all these fancy drinks.
Dude, I always thought like when Mom's first opened and they were just doing strictly.
They were strictly beer.
Work there too.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that would be like this best gig for a
What
bartender.
can do you want?
What can
Let
you
me
want?
pop it.
Shh, here you go.
I can
Done.
do that. Yeah.
And then they started serving liquor and like doing mixed drinks, and I'm like, ooh, I can't do that. I can get you a beer though.
That is, yeah.
Well, hey, when we open up the Heavy Ultra bar, it's strictly
Cans
can.
only. We're
Yeah.
bringing
Heavy
that
Ultra Bar and Fight Club.
back. Fight Club.
Yeah.
You can't
Heavy
talk
Ultra
about it.
Fight Circuit. That's what we got.
Yeah.
Pretty rad.
Would be cool. I don't want to be in the fight circuit. I want.
Of course, I think it's a good idea because I'm me, but
So, what's the fight scene like now? in
Yeah.
Alabama? Now
It
that there
is-
is a commission, and I mean, is there
Yeah.
anybody who I'm going to see in the UFC coming out of Birmingham?
there's a
soon?
chance. I'm not as involved as I used to be because I'm not fighting. I'm not at all the events, but there's some very good gyms. There's the Garage. They have some people that fight out of there. There's SBG/Spartan. I don't know which name they go by, but they're over in Homewood. They're very good. And those are just the local gyms that I know about. But there's always, it seems every event that I go to, there's some new gym and there's people, popping up everywhere. Like mixed martial arts is very popular. So people want to train, people want to be tough. There's always teenage dudes that want to put on muscle and know how to fight to impress girls. There's a lot of reasons people get into it. So there's a lot of people coming up that I don't know about,
Yeah,
but
it's hard to keep up, I guess.
it's very hard to keep up.
Well, I see all the gyms popping up everywhere, and I know they're not all gearing towards. A lot of them are like CrossFit gyms.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that are just for fitness.
Yeah.
Like when my buddy Jeremy, he's the one that opened the Garage. He did not want a competition team. He just wanted a place to like a fitness gym. He just wanted that. But people like me started coming around. Like, hey, I like to fight people for money and stuff. So
Has he got anything in the works? Or
I think the gym's always got different competitions coming up.
okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. So if I were to come in there and wanted to start training, or anybody that's listening that may want to start training with you, what would you start out on? Like what can I expect
The basics.
the basics? So what are the basics?
Throwing a 1, throwing a 2.
Okay.
You can rule the world with a 1-2.
Okay.
The Klitschko brothers ruled the heavyweight division for a decade with a 1 and the threat of a 2.
Okay.
So if you get the basics down, then you go from there. But if you don't have the basics down, it's kind of just a mishmash of you flailing your arms around.
Now, when you fight mixed martial arts versus, say, boxing, are they scored the same way? Like, I know with boxing and stuff, you may not always have a clear-cut winner. They go back and they have judges that actually score it based on how many times you hit your opponent and stuff. I guess mixed martial arts is the same way.
Same deal. Yeah, it's a lot of ring control / octagon control. Same thing. Who's more aggressive? That's who could. If they're not landing a lot of shots, they kind of base it on who's being more aggressive.
Or style. Does that come
Yeah.
into play? Like your
there's-
footwork and stuff?
Yeah. See, with mixed martial arts, that's a very big part of it because some guys' styles are just they come forward even though they're not doing much. But there's guys that move around, move sideways, but they're hitting you the whole time. So it's a lot to come into play.
Yeah, I always wondered, like, at the end of some of the few fights that I've watched, I'm like, who won? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I don't ever want to be a judge. I'll be a ref. I have thought about becoming a ref, but I don't want to be a judge.
what would it take to be a ref?
I just have to put in the paperwork, ref my whatever amount of rounds to like in practice.
That seems like that'd be cool. It'd be right up your alley, man.
Yeah, I mean, I still may do it. I mean, I got time. I said I was going to do it a while ago when I retired, so we'll see.
Get in there, ref fights, make sure nobody gets killed.
Yeah,
You know, you get to be close to the action, I guess.
yeah. I mean, that's what Cody, the guy that ref that fight we watched, he used to fight, and now he's been a ref for a lot of years now.
That's cool. Sweet, man. So no chance of you getting back in the ring, or it's crossed your mind. It looks like.
I mean,
it's
it's always crossed my mind.
We could see a comeback.
I am not opposed to it. If somebody wants to
if
fight,
the right
we
fight
can
comes
fight.
along.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna fight, some dude from Glory Glory is a very large, based in a very large promotion based in Europe. I'm not gonna fight some guy that just came from there. But if somebody's,
You're not gonna be somebody's stepping stone, I guess.
nah, I don't want to be that. But I will fight somebody. If somebody's dad wants to get beat up, I'll beat up somebody's dad. I'm fine with that.
We got a sponsor.
fun.
We'll sponsor
It's
you.
appreciated.
We'll give you a T-shirt and a high five.
Hell yeah! I mean, that's all it takes for me, honestly.
Oh, dude,
And
we'll
a
print
six pack after you're done.
Yeah.
And I won't drink it because I'm straight edge.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah,
know
it
that.
is. Let's go.
So talk about that. Why? What's the meaning behind straight edge for you?
For me, I just never had any interest in drinking or smoking. I mean, there's really not much of a story to it. There's no trauma behind it. I didn't think about until, like I said earlier, my dad wasn't around when I was a kid, and that was because of drugs. I didn't think about it until I was in my 30s. Like, well, maybe that has a part in it. But
That's interesting, man. That's an interesting decision.
Tim is.
When did you decide to become straight edge?
I just
Or
never.
is it just
started.
sort of
just
always?
Yeah, I just never started. I
Or
just,
when did you start identifying? Because I know when I was like a teenager,
When you start listening to hardcore music and
you
figure
put
out
Yeah.
what
X's on
straight
your
edge
hands
is,
and all that stuff.
I got a lot of X's on me. In my early 20s, I guess, I just like really said I was straight edge. I used to just say I'm not straight edge. I'm just drug free.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I'm
Wear your
straight
Dare
edge.
T-shirt and stuff.
Yeah, I do have a Dare T-shirt.
Yeah, those things are coveted now. You can't find them anymore.
Yeah, somebody got it for me a lot of years ago, and it's kind of snug now, but I still have it.
That's cool, man. That's I respect that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just never really like. It's not a matter of willpower. Like I just don't want to. It's not.
Yeah.
There's nothing drawing me to it to make it a willpower situation. I just never had any interest.
Yeah.
Even though I've spent a lot of time in
I was
bars
about
and
to
hanging
say,
out with my
yeah,
friends.
yeah. We had my buddy Chase on way back, Chase
I know
Glasgow,
Chase, yeah.
and he got sober, and he's been sober for several years. And I think at one point we asked, was it difficult to kind of be around the nightlife situation and not be inclined to try to drink and stuff? And he was like, no, it's the opposite. You know, everybody's like super supportive. And
Yeah.
I think he referred to like a Brian Regan joke where it's like, I equate it to, mayonnaise. Somebody asks like, you don't eat mayonnaise? Can I have mayonnaise? Like,
It's
just
exactly
dude, no,
like
don't
that.
be weird. I won't be weird. Like, I just don't drink. It's not a big deal.
Like people will, a lot of my friends are bartenders. So like if they're getting somebody around the shots and I'm with that group of people, they'll give me like some Sprite or something.
Chase said the
Chase
same
said the
thing.
same
Yeah.
thing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
still got a party.
That's cool.
Well, since we're talking about it, I'm gonna get another one.
Sweet.
Do that.
So when you're not doing mixed martial arts and training other people to beat the crap out of each other,
Or just
what do you
for
do in
fi-
your
or
free
just
time?
getting in
man?
shape.
Or just getting into shape, yeah. What do you do in your free time, man? What do you do for fun?
I watch so much fucking TV.
Okay.
I'm a very active, lazy person.
I was about to say, you look like you're in good shape, man. I know the training and stuff. Do you do any kind of other like cardio? Do you ride? Do you run? Do you do anything like that?
I run a lot,
Okay.
and I enjoy running. My knees don't love running, but I love running.
Nobody loves running. I mean, we all just do
I
it because we
mean,
have to.
I do it because it's it's cheap therapy for me. Like that's what working out is. It's always been my go-to, like my default thing to do.
De-stress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm such a happy-go-lucky person now.
I feel like a lot of runners say that too. You get to that point in your running stage where it's like zen almost. Like
Yeah.
your mind isn't focused on what your body's doing. You're like, before you know it, you're like 15 miles deep and you're like, oh shit, this is where I'm at. All right, turn around and go back. Like it's very like
And then it gets addicting. It's like you got to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
You know,
Can be.
it's like
yeah. I mean, for a lot of
meditation. That's the word I was looking for.
meditation running.
Right.
For a lot of times I lived on Highland, like I would see the same people almost every day. Either they're running or I'm out running, just getting it in.
Yeah.
It's part of some people's routine.
Well, I know Katie works at Oak Mountain, and she sees the same people coming at like 5 a.m. every morning that are just like hardcore runners that I guess have day jobs and do other things. But
Yeah.
they just got to get that smooth 12 miles in before they start their
they
day.
can have
Casey
that
Neistat
shit.
status.
I'm not getting up that early. When I worked in surgery, there was a few people that was like, yeah, I got up at 4:30 and went to the gym every morning. Like, I go after work.
Yeah.
4:30, I'm going to be busy sleeping.
Sure. That's cool. Yeah, I got into like cycling. I've been doing that a little bit. And when I say cycling, I'm not like road biking like my friend Nathan, who we had on last week.
Mm-hmm.
But mountain biking, has been really fun. Been really into
Yeah.
that lately. Haven't really, I don't know, man. Running is like a love-hate thing for me. Sometimes I love it, and then other times I'm just like, especially in the middle of July, trying to go to the park.
Yeah,
and
that's a
run.
bad
In
move.
Alabama, it's like, it sucks.
Yeah, I'll get my cardio elsewhere. Like I'll punch a bag or get on the rower or the treadmill or something. But I just feel better when I run outside just because of the scenery and other things distracting me from the fact that I'm running however
You don't want to
many
get on a
miles.
treadmill and just stare at the screen for,
Yeah, I know.
for 4 or 5 miles.
I'll get on there and listen to Heavy Ultra
There you
and
Let's
run those
go.
miles.
Let's go.
Promotion within the episode.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Work that in there.
I earned my sponsorship.
Yeah, you can keep that, by the
Yeah,
way.
yep.
Oh, I'm going to.
Do you like lift weights or do anything
I lift
like
a lot
that?
of weights.
Lift
Yeah,
a lot of
I-
weights. That's obvious. Okay. This old guy.
Yeah, for a long time while I was really into training and like when I was going into my professional career, I didn't lift weights at all. So that was a lot of my 20s not spent lifting weights. But now, like, I can lift weights because I had to keep my weight at a certain range.
That was my next question. What weight division were you in?
I fought at mostly 185 and 205.
And you said sometimes you had fights with people outside of your weight
Yes,
class. Is
I
that just
fought-
because?
because that's who they had.
who you
and
had.
Fighters are dumb, and fighters gonna fight. So if you give me a heavyweight, like, yeah, okay, I'll fight this heavyweight.
What's
like,
a heavyweight? Define a heavyweight.
anything above 205 pounds. Like there's some huge guys. Let's say a guy, John Jones, usually walks at like, so they say around like 230 or so. He can cut down to 205. As long as you make 205 on the scale the night before the fight, you're good
You
to
could
go.
chow down the night before.
Yes. But some guys that are way too big or just don't want to cut that weight, they're heavyweights. So I'd show up a few times. I'd show up to fight a guy. I've been cutting weight and whatever. Like I'm at whatever weight I'm at, and like, hey, your guy didn't show or backed out or got hurt or whatever. But we have this guy, and fighter
This
brain is
massive
like,
dude.
cool. I'll fight him.
What's the biggest guy you ever fought?
About 240-ish.
240-ish, and you're
Yeah.
at 185.
Well, no, the heaviest I ever got was about 225, but that's just because my diet was shit.
Okay.
Like even right now, I'm about 215. I weigh less than I did when I was in high school. I also take care of myself a little bit better.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm in it for the long run because I got a boy to chase around.
But
A
still,
lot
man.
revolves around him.
You fighting somebody that's like 30 pounds bigger, I mean, is there a huge advantage to that weight, or are they slower? Or, I mean, do you have like,
It depends on the person because I know
Big,
some.
dumb, and slow.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking a stupid question.
No, that's not a stupid question at all because like there are those outliers. There are just some guys that are big and quick, like Walt Harris, who I mentioned earlier. He's like 6'5", 260-ish, very fast.
Really?
Yeah, that's what got him a lot. That's what's got him a lot of success in his fighting career. It's like he's so big, but he's also so fast.
Wow.
So there are those guys, but a lot of the guys that I was fighting that were heavier weights, like they weren't that.
Now, you said we showed the knockout here that you said was kind of like your retirement fight.
Mm-hmm.
How many KOs did you end up having throughout your career? 'Cause you said there's more than one.
Yeah, there's a few.
Or anyone that stands out, like, is there a favorite fight that you had?
My very first, I'd gotten a few TKOs where you're hitting them and the ref says, all right, stop. So the fight's
So
done.
TKO,
Yeah, TKOs.
total knockout,
But my
what does that mean?
Sure, total knockout.
Tubular knockout.
Technical knockout.
Technical.
Oh, yeah.
Tubular, dude.
Tubular,
You
dude.
killed him. My very first, I hit him and he goes down and he doesn't get back up knockout. That was the one that stuck out to me because that was the first time that ever happened.
Okay.
That's
And
gotta
that
be a
wasn't this
great
one that we
feeling.
just watched.
No, that one's on YouTube. It's like 1,000 years old.
Okay.
But yeah,
Still, man.
That was the one in Vegas.
the
and we were
feeling
the
of
main
hitting
event.
someone and then watching them drop, and you're just like, oh my god, I just did that. That's crazy.
Yeah. And there's a boxer, Julian Jackson, who fought in the 80s, early 90s. He'd hit people, and they're like, he knows they're done. They're going out, and he would point to them. And that's what I did in that fight. That was because of him. Like,
He's
it was
down.
kind of cocky, but I also felt really good about myself
Yeah.
at the time. Like, that's the high you chase as a
Sure,
fighter.
That's
yeah.
badass,
Your
is what
adrenaline
it
levels
is.
like here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Were you ever nervous before a fight? Would you ever have a fight like maybe some of those ones where you're fighting outside your weight class where you're like, holy shit, I'm about to die? Like, was there ever
Early-
that feeling?
Early on, I would get nerves, but the longer you do it, the nerves kind of go away. For me, the nerves kind of went away, and I was just ready to do the thing. Like, if I was fighting later in the card, I would try to find somewhere to sleep or to just be.
Sleep.
I really love to nap. Yeah, that became part of my game plan. Like, get there at whatever time I'm supposed to be there per the commission,
Yeah.
and find somewhere to just lay down, put my headphones on, and just be.
Zen out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm just ready to, I'm just like, if I had it my way, I would just show up and fight. Show up, get wrapped up, fight.
just do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of
Like,
having
I don't
to
want to
hurry up
get
and
here
wait.
and then, like,
Right.
stare at people for 30 minutes, and I'm sure people are going to want to talk to you about whatever else. Like, man, yeah, man, that's cool. I'm ready to go fight.
How much of the fight, in your opinion, is a mental game?
More than people would really understand from the outside, because it's a lot of, you got to have the confidence and the will to, a lot of fighting is just getting in there and throwing the punches.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people, sometimes people get in there and they just freeze up, and like they're too much in here. So if you can get relaxed enough to the point where, okay, you know what you're capable of, you know they have the same weapons you have, you just go in there and treat it like a sparring session. That's what I would do to keep my heart rate down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine, especially if you're on location and maybe your match is later in the evening or whatever, and you have that downtime before the fight to kill. That's where your mind would start kind of like, well, what if this happens, or what if I do this, or maybe you have a game plan going into it. You said you would study the fighter that
Yeah,
you're going.
usually, yeah. But no matter how,
second guessing yourself or whatever,
I would always have those moments while I was getting my hands wrapped.
Okay.
Like, I'm getting there, sitting there, getting my hands, I'm like, shit, this is what my life is.
Here we go.
Or like, depending on my mood, like some days I'm like, well, this is what my life is. I guess we got to do this. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is what we do. Like, some tough guy shit in my head that I would never say out loud. But I was all over the place. It just depended on my mood that day, or how I felt about my training camp, or how I felt about my opponent and what I could do and how to give myself an advantage. That's the kind of stuff that would go through my head while I was getting ready.
Man. Yeah, I can imagine right before you like getting your hands wrapped. You're like, okay, this is it. I'm about to go
Yeah,
jump in
like
the ring.
like that. Like, there's no turning back now. So
do they have the like intro music and stuff? Like, did
Yeah.
they do?
You got to
do
walk
all
in.
that?
What's
You
your
gotta
walk-in
in?
song?
I've had a lot. My favorite one to come out to, that I came out to was a fight in Coleman. I was actually rematching the guy that I fought in my very first fight, because it was such a good fight that same promotion did it again. It was in Coleman, and I came out to Somebody to Love by Queen.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
So you
That's the
ended
way
up
to
winning
do
the
it.
second fight.
Yes,
too.
I won.
Oh, okay, dude, that's sick, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was a buddy of mine. Like, I've never fought anybody that I had any beef with. Everybody I've ever fought, like, we were friends at that point, because you've shared something with somebody that not a lot of people are going to really understand or get or do. So, like, there's that camaraderie in it. I can't think of anybody that I've had beef with. There's some people whose mindset that I don't agree with, but
Is
takes all
that pretty
time.
typical in like the world of MMA? I mean, it's pretty mutual respect. I mean,
Yeah.
you see these big fights that get all the promotion and stuff, and it's like these dudes are like, like they have the little what is it, like the thing where they're sitting at the table,
Press conference.
the press conference,
Yeah.
and those fights are almost breaking out there at the table, and I don't
Yeah.
know how much is that a show versus like
It's
they really
all
hate
show.
it. It's all show.
It's
Okay.
all show. It's all beef that's manifested on either side. Like,
Yeah.
if it's a rematch, then it's usually way more hostile than the previous match was, because like they have this history. Oh, you won. You think you won. That kind of
Yeah.
bullshit. But
I wonder how much of that is actually real versus like just the theatrics of it. Like
It's a lot of theatrics. Like it's what
sells
sells
the fight,
tickets.
sure.
Yeah. Like me, I'm gonna watch anybody fight, whether I know who they are or they don't. If there's fights on TV, I'm gonna watch them. But you do need that to sell tickets to somebody who may not get it unless like, oh, he's gonna kill him because he said this about his wife.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take that to get me in it, but do what you gotta do.
What is your take on the Paul brothers? And they go from YouTube and jump into the world of fighting, and it's a huge show. And I've heard the argument like, yeah, they don't deserve to be here, but at the same time, people can't seem to turn away from them. Is there something to that? Do you see this becoming a trend of more people like, I'm just going to be the next Conor McGregor and just have all eyes on me and just make, like, because there's money to be made whether the fans love you or hate you.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Floyd. Like, people would buy the tickets or buy the pay-per-view just to see him lose.
Yeah.
He didn't lose, but they'd still buy the ticket hoping that he would.
Yeah.
Like, I can't hate on anybody getting money. Like, get your money however you can get it. Like, and they're getting way more money than I ever got or probably will ever get, if we're being honest. But they don't... From a purely boxing standpoint, there's guys that have worked way harder and are better boxers that won't make the money that they're making.
Yeah.
So if I have a beef, there's the beef.
Okay. Do you think it's bad for the sport? With people like that, or do you see it as just?
I mean, there's
that's
entertainment
the
and
way it
everything.
goes,
Yeah.
It's like even basketball has the All-Star Weekend and the Slam Dunk contest. That's what that is for pugilism.
Yeah.
Because that rapper, what's his fucking name? Blueface. I don't know his music.
Blueface, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That guy. I don't know.
Was he getting into boxing?
He
What's up
fought
with
some dude from TikTok on the last bare knuckle boxing card.
What?
He was on that?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was on that.
Yeah. Because I watch all forms of pugilism, whether I participate in it or not. I've been offered to do those, and I am not gonna.
Okay.
All right. School me on the world.
Well, hold on. So did Blueface get whooped?
No, he beat the shit out of this young man.
Was it a TikToker, dude?
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of this young man.
Yeah,
Okay, wow.
it wasn't close. I think it went to the second round, but I didn't pay for it. It just popped up on YouTube. Like, well, I'll watch this.
That's crazy.
Shout out Blueface. Wow.
Sure.
All right. I was going to ask, you mentioned bare knuckle boxing.
Yes,
Is that a thing?
it's a thing, and it's
Is it
become quite
regulated?
popular.
Is it
It's
legal?
regulated. They just had a show here in Birmingham last month, maybe the month before.
Did it used to be called Fight Club?
No, Brad Pitt was not in attendance.
Okay.
I'm not sure
Backyard
he
wrestling.
even.
That's what I think of. Like,
No, like
So no pads, no.
they tape up their wrists.
What's the
and-
difference between tape on the wrist and what you did?
I
mean,
guess
you had an actual
it's just
glove.
support, so you can
Okay.
land a good punch. You want a solid wrist,
Yeah.
because wrist support is very important. But yeah, it's a lot of broken hands, a lot of lacerations to the face.
I can imagine the knuckle just against your skull.
Yeah,
just
because the
split
MMA gloves are small, but they're more for your protection than the protection of the person you're punching.
Yeah.
Because that little bit of padding is a lot. It gives you the ability to punch harder.
Really?
So with no padding, you can still punch as hard, yeah, but you're gonna break your hand,
yeah, you'll hurt somebody.
or
but
at
you're gonna
least hurt your
yourself,
hand
too.
a lot. Yeah.
Is there a proper way to, like, when you curl your fingers in, is that wrong versus like?
Yeah, I've
leaving your
seen
fingers
people
out?
like
Or
do
put their
that with their
thumb-
thumb in. Do not do that because you're gonna break that
Break your
thumb.
thumb.
But yeah, just a regular.
smash your thumb off.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
No, bro, you got to do like this and go for the eyes.
The
That's a
world
different
of,
tactic.
The world
Yeah.
of bare knuckle boxing. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's they're paying people a lot. I got offered.
I would watch it. I would totally
I
watch
do
that.
watch it.
It gets brutal, man.
When-
it gets rough sometimes.
Now, is
Like,
this like? Where do you watch bare knuckle boxing? Is that
same
like
place you watch anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
YouTube.
YouTube? So, but you said it's regulated. So I
It's
mean,
regulated. It just got regulated here. The event they had recently was the very first one here, but before that, they were doing them in Mississippi because it was regulated there.
What's the governing body that regulates such?
I
events?
assume it's just the regular athletic commission.
Athletic Commission.
Yeah, like Alabama was behind a lot of states, at least our neighboring states, on getting MMA regulated. We had boxing, but they were focused on trying to get MMA because I mean, there's people here, there's money to be made.
Get in the octagon.
Yeah.
Now, when they do these mixed martial arts fights or bare knuckle boxing, are
Mm-hmm.
you doing like I know in boxing they do they put like it's like the
Vaseline.
oil, the Vaseline.
Vaseline,
That's what
yeah.
I'm looking for. Do they do that?
Yes.
So that you're not sticking. I guess it's
Yeah,
like
it's
more
to
of
help the punches slide off a little bit.
Does that help at all?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. I usually put some on before I spar for the same reason.
Just so the glove doesn't stick to your face.
Yeah, you don't get as many
Peel your skin
friction
off.
burns because they suck.
Yeah, I'm sure
Almost
it all
worse than-
sucks, man. Getting punched in the face in any capacity does not
I've
sound
been in a
fun.
world of punching people for over a decade, so it's my normal. It doesn't even seem that crazy to me anymore.
Does the beard help?
No.
No. Okay.
Doesn't help, doesn't hurt.
I see a lot of dudes with big burly beards, and I'm like, man, that's got to offer at least some protection, maybe a little bit.
No.
It still hurts.
Still hurts us.
If I hit you with a hammer on top of your head with hair on it,
Yeah,
it's still going to suck.
Good analogy. That's funny. Dang, bare knuckle boxing. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. It's
I don't watch a lot of fighting.
I watch probably too much fighting that I may be desensitized. I don't know. I also grew up watching Freddy Krueger films, and I think they're hilarious.
Where I feel like the tables turned is our mother. We went out to dinner one night at a restaurant we never went to, and it was solely because they had pay-per-view boxing or the UFC fight on. And it was the fight with Brock Lesnar, where like at the end of the fight he like trash talked Bud Light, and then he had to come out and do an
UFC
apology.
200. Yeah.
So that was the first
100.
That's the first UFC I've ever seen. And that's the UFC fight that got my mom into UFC, was watching Brock Lesnar.
Who's
just,
the
like,
most innocent?
annihilate.
Like just
That's right.
Yes, knowing our mother, she's like church going, no cuss
just
words,
good old Southern Christian
sweet
woman.
tea. And she was like, we're going to watch the fights.
We're going to watch this blood fest.
That's all.
That
Yeah,
is
that
boxing.
fight was a blood fest.
Yes. That was my first fight I've ever seen.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that with I watched that with my team at the time. Like we all went to our coach's house and we watched that. I remember watching that. Yeah, my mother would not want to see that.
It was crazy. And then, so that was like my first exposure to it. And I'm like, damn, this is pretty cool. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like that before.
Picked a good one.
Like there's blood on the mat, and I'm like, this is on live TV. Like they're watching this. It was
Watch
crazy.
this dude get killed. Any memorable or any up and coming fights that you're excited about, whether professional or local or like if I wanted to go watch local fighting, where would I go? Is there
I
a
know there is local. 'Cause,
Yes.
one of the artists we film for, he fights, and he wins like pretty good money doing it. He's a younger dude though. But I know it's local. I know he's fighting local.
Yeah, there's a promotion, Strike Hard. They've been around since before the commission, but now they've joined up with this. I don't know what they are. I guess they're a bigger promotion. They just help out smaller promotions. But B2 Fighting Series, they do the local stuff usually.
where? Is it just
They've
anywhere
done
they can get a
that
venue?
one was at the Zamora Temple in Irondale. They recently had one in Trussville at whatever they have in Trussville that can house a fight.
So there's different community centers or
Yeah,
different event
yeah.
venues
Like, dude,
where they can
I've-
set up a
Yeah, I went to Kentucky and fought in a barn house.
Really?
You can have a fight anywhere.
fight anywhere.
Yeah, I fought pre-commission. You could wherever you can put up a tent, wherever you can put up a cage, you can have a fight. I fought in the space between a Hooters and a gas station. Put up a cage, put a tent over it. There's your fight.
Wow.
In Tuscaloosa, I fought in the back of a Field and Stream store.
No way, really.
Put up a cage, put up a tent. You got fights.
I was going to talk about kind of the Birmingham show scene. Did you go in any like hardcore shows or anything back in the day?
Yeah,
Cave 9, a little bit of history there, I would imagine.
I was there. It was before I knew people really. So like I was just a guy. I was just a fly on the wall amongst this. Now I'm friends with a bunch of people that were there. But I didn't go there like with a group of people. The same way, like we were just saying, like I'm friends with a lot of people, but I'm not in any specific group of people. I don't think I'm attached to any group. So I just kind of, show up. I'm like, hey.
Now, the people that consider themselves to be like straight edge, I mean, is that like a group or an association, or is that just more of a lifestyle?
It's more a lifestyle, and I don't think there are enough of us around locally to be a crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because not to rag on straight edge, but there were some people who, like we just talked about, would take it too far.
Yeah.
And was like, would really take it to the next level of, like, you couldn't just hang out. Like, if I wasn't straight edge, then we could not be friends. And if you found out that I wasn't straight edge, you would cut ties with me altogether. But then I found Tim, who was straight edge, and he loves everybody. He doesn't judge anybody.
Does he still consider himself to be straight edge?
And not up until like maybe just a couple of years ago.
Oh.
We took shots on New Year's, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not edge anymore." And I'm like,
Not edge
Did he
anymore.
just find out? Was that new information for him on New Year's? Like, Happy New Year's. I guess I drink now.
he's like, "Oh, I'm not edge anymore."
Not edge anymore. I broke the oath.
Man, well, got to get these X's scraped off.
Scraped off my skin. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't care what other people do. Like, I'm straight edge because I want to be straight edge because it's what works for me.
I know that when I was like in the show scene and going to like Cave Nine and stuff a lot and listening to all the death metal bands I used to listen to, that was like a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I think there was a lot of local bands. One in particular, I can't think of the name, but the only thing I associated with straight edge was like they didn't smoke, they didn't drink, they cussed a lot, and they always got in fights. It was always like, and there was this one dude in particular, and I wish I'm butchering it. I need to ask my friend Nick; he would know. But yeah, that was my only I never really knew anybody that considered themselves to be straight edge.
Man, I know a lot of people that used to be straight edge, whether I knew them then or not, but they still have the tattoos to say they were straight edge.
I know a lot of people.
That's hardcore, man. You get the tattoos. That's like for
yeah.
life, man.
I mean,
That's for life.
Whatever works for you at the time.
Yeah.
That's
Any new
kinda
tattoos planned? You're starting to run out of room, man.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I got this whole thigh just open for no reason. And Ryan was tattooing me last week, and he pointed that out because I was wearing shorts. He's like, "What you doing with this thigh up here?" I was like, I don't know.
What was your most recent tattoo from Ryan?
It was just a raven on my shin to cover up something I had prior.
Okay.
Just because, it had no pussy shit
Okay.
on some on a banner, and my son can read, and
So
I
you're
don't
like,
want.
"Oh, I need to get
I don't want
that-
to have to explain why I have no pussy shit tattooed on me.
I need to get that taken care of.
Yeah, I just got that blasted over.
That's cool.
With a nice bird.
Sweet, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the big chest piece you had? I know we kind of referred to that earlier.
It's a samurai battle scene
It looked
with a samurai
painful.
stabbing a demon. Chad did it, and it's awesome, and I love it.
That's gnarly.
How long did
That
it
is
take to
gnarly.
get?
I think about 2 sessions of 3.5 hours. Yeah, it was not
That's
tight.
intense, man.
Yeah, I'm an intense guy.
Any head tattoos
really.
coming your way?
Not planning on it, but who
Face
knows?
tattoos
I mean,
are the
I have,
rage, man.
Well,
I
not
have
even face, just like
I have a little thing on the behind my ear. It's an X, predictably.
The edge.
the edge.
Nail to it,
The oath.
baby. Yeah, just getting a straight edge. That's my gap feel. Like, I want to get tattooed. What don't I have that's straight edge? I don't know. I have been batting around the idea of getting the back of my head tattooed, but I also
Son.
don't want to. Exactly, son. I don't want to hear my mom's opinion about it
Yeah, man.
Man.
because she already deals with all this.
Yeah.
I think I could do anything but like anything above my like neckline. My
Yeah.
mom would just be like, really? Like that would just crush her. You know
Yeah,
what I
she
mean?
didn't notice this thing behind my ear. It's been there for a few years until I was driving her somewhere, and she's like, "Is that a tattoo behind your ear?" Like, yep.
Yeah.
But she's kind of, she doesn't know what all of them are unless I point them out specifically. But she just knows I have
But
a
she's
lot of
supportive,
tattoos.
I would guess. Yeah. To the
She's
degree.
accepting.
She's accepting.
We'll say accepting, not
Accepting.
supportive.
You can be as tough as you want to be until mom shows up.
I'm a mama's boy, man.
yeah,
like
man.
that's
Me
the
too.
reason I never moved away because I want to be near my mama.
Respect it.
Yeah,
Us
she
too.
hates that I fought people for a long time.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I
Hey
did-
mom, I got my.
Did she
first
come to your
fight.
fights?
Absolutely not.
No.
I was doing it for damn near a year before I even told her about it.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you explain I mean, I would imagine you have to go to
Knock
dinner with
on
her,
wood.
and you got like
I don't
whelps and
never
stuff.
got. I'm good at protecting this.
Really?
Yeah. Never had anything too bad up here. Never had to have stitches or anything. But I only told her because I was doing a fight locally and they were being advertised on the TV. I wasn't in the commercial, but they were saying my name and like showing a picture or something. And I didn't want that to be the way that she
Right.
found
She found out.
So I didn't want to be like, hey, Monk, I saw you on a on a TV commercial.
Man.
So, but I'm glad I did tell her when I did, because she was working at part-time at a clothing store at the time, and like the weekend after I told her, they had posters up about the fight.
Yeah.
So-
Do you still have any of those posters?
I wish I did. If I had,
Dude, I want one, man.
dude, I wish I did. I
That'd
don't
be so
know.
rad.
I wasn't thinking at the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's cool. I should have kept a lot of stuff.
Got you in the fight position. That's so rad.
You know, being super tough.
Well, dude, I look at some of your photos you got posted on Instagram, man, and it's like, you look tough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to climb in the ring with you. So let's talk about this picture right here, Katie. If you click on that first one right there, I think that epitomizes like what your opponent sees when he climbs in the ring with you, and I would be absolutely terrified.
I mean, you know.
Do you know when was this photo taken?
It was before the fight that we watched earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so that's
that was
same
that
one.
night. My first kickboxing.
You're on top of the
match.
world
The
right there,
caption
dude.
is
baby.
the caption is 3 years ago I knocked out a dude in 9 seconds. That was cool. I'm cool.
I mean, that night I was the coolest.
Yeah.
That was cool. I'm cool.
Yeah,
Like,
and my son slept through it,
I can't argue with
Really?
so that's super cool.
that. Dude, that's
Man.
rad, man.
But yeah, man, it's a
Beast mode. Look at that.
it's a different like. I always felt like a different person when I was in there. Like I'm still
What's
me, but
what's
like
that energy like? You got the crowd behind you.
just
you're
being
in-
ready
you're
to
in
go.
there, It's like
See, my
yeah.
nerves would be like on. Like
I
going
feel like my
haywire.
adrenaline would
Yeah,
be through the
dude.
roof.
Yeah, it was a lot of trying to calm myself down, because you don't want to get in there and just like empty the clip and
Right,
I don't want to say
right.
blow your wad, but that's, whatever.
Right.
You don't want to blow your wad too early and you're just like suffering through the next however many rounds.
What's the longest you were ever in a match? Is it a match? Is
it's
that
a
what you
3
said?
Match fight, same
Match
thing.
fight. What's the longest you ever like?
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
in-
3 5-minute rounds.
3
Went to
5-minute
I went to decision twice. Of all my fights, I went to decision twice.
So that's what it's called, going to decision.
Yeah.
When you like make it through, the round's over, and now they have to.
So it's
tally
up to the judge's
points.
decision now. So it's
Okay.
whatever they say.
I got you. I got
Yeah.
you. Dude, that's intense, man. That'd be a long 15 minutes. In between
It's-
those rounds, how much time do you
1
have?
minute.
You get 1 minute to like sit there and recoup.
That's why cardio is such a huge part of fighting.
I'm imagining like the Rocky Balboa scene where your coach is in your face. You got to protect yourself. You got to throw the rights and blah blah blah. You know,
Yeah,
I
so-
was
was it ever like that? Is your coach in the ring?
that's
with
what
you?
I'm
Or is he
curious.
shouting at you through the fence.
Yeah, you get one person in. Usually, depending on the commission, you get one person in or two. But they come in, usually ice on your back, ice on your chest,
Towel you
telling
off.
telling you what you need to do. Keep doing this. Don't do this. Look for this. Wait for this. Slow down. Speed up. You need
60
more.
seconds,
Need less.
and you're just trying to breathe.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
That's
got
a
another
lot.
5 minutes.
Well, we started in that minute. As soon as you get in there, as soon as your butt hits the stool, you got deep breaths to try to slow your heart rate down and get your breathing under control. Because it doesn't matter what they're telling you if you're
right.
like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know.
water. I need water.
Yeah. In my last fight, when I thought I broke my foot in the first round, Jeremy and I were talking about it recently. He said he just sat down and looked straight ahead. He was like, I broke my foot. And he was like, what? I broke my foot. I was just mad. I wasn't tired or anything.
Did you
I was just
continue
mad.
to fight after you
Oh, yeah, I
fought?
kept fighting.
You kept fighting.
Kept fighting.
On what you thought was a broken foot.
Yep.
Is that normal? I guess most people.
I
You said the
mean,
fighter mentality.
You
like,
go to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ref
If you're
says-
fighting, if we're fighting, we're fighting.
Yeah.
We're fighting until
I broke both my ankles, but I'm gonna crawl back out there and we're
yeah,
gonna keep
I'm
fighting.
gonna claw his fucking eyes out. I'll use whatever I got. I'm gonna use it to beat this dude.
That's crazy.
But yeah, you get a minute to go over technique, anything, look for something, look for this, don't do this, and just try to calm yourself down and do it again another 5 minutes or 3 minutes, however.
How fast does that 5 minutes go by? Does it feel agonizingly slow?
It depends
or
on
is
how the fight's going.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Like one of the decisions I went to, we were standing pretty much the whole fight, so it felt like that went so much faster than the other one. The other one, the guy was trying to wrestle me so much, so it's a lot of in close, grappling, digging, trying to get up. He's a really good wrestler, so he took me down. So I spent a lot of time getting up. It's a lot of so conditioning is 90% of it.
Have you ever gotten in the ring with somebody who just, because I've seen fights where the opponent stays away the whole match and they kind of walk the ring and they never come up to contact. Have you ever gotten in the ring with somebody who's just like,
You're
we're
chasing them the
we're
whole time.
here to fight.
Hate
Come
to
fight.
watch
Your ass
that.
over here.
Yeah. Luckily I never was in any of those. Like everybody I fought, they came to fight.
I wonder what's the mentality of that, to just run out the
Survival?
clock? Or,
Well, it depends on the situation. I've seen fights where guys just don't engage the whole time. It's not a matter of you hurt me, I need a minute to get my bearings again, or I'm looking for a hole. I've seen guys just like circle around and just not engage and just waste time.
right. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly. Like I've seen guys straight up in the middle just drop their hands like, what are we doing? Like, are we going to fight or not?
Right.
Is there a penalty for that? I guess that would come into the judge's decision, like of the aggressiveness that you were alluding to earlier versus like
Yeah, the guy that's dancing around and
dancing around.
avoiding the fight, he is not going to win.
Right.
In some foreign organizations, you'll get like a yellow card,
really
like in soccer, like, hey, lack of activity.
lack of activity. Get your
Yeah.
ass in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've only seen that in like Japanese organizations or whatever place in Asia.
No, you haven't fought much in Asia, I guess.
I have taught none in Asia.
None in Asia.
How was that Vegas fight, though? You talked about fighting
Dude,
in Vegas.
it was Vegas is a very weird place.
Okay.
I've only been there that one time, and it was weird.
Weird.
Okay.
It doesn't stop. The place does not slow down. One night, I think it was after my fight, I woke up at like 4 a.m. I was like, I'm hungry. There's a gas station on the corner. I'll go down there and get a bag of chips or something. There's people out like it's 7 p.m. Like
yeah.
this place
Never
is
sleeps.
fucking weird, and I hate it. But I won my fight, so it was a trip worth taking.
That's cool.
Good trip.
Yeah.
Now,
But-
do most fights? You said the longest fight you were in was 3 5-minute rounds. Is that like the industry standard for MMA fights, or do they go longer, like boxing?
All professional fights are 5 minutes. Just a regular fight, to be fighting, it's 3 rounds. Any championship fights or just main event UFC fights, they go 5 rounds. So
5
it's 25
rounds.
minutes of
25 minutes.
getting at it.
Is there a lot of fights that go the full length, go the distance?
Yeah.
MMA fights. Mm-hmm. I know boxing. It seems like they go forever, and it's almost like a test of endurance. Just
It
to
is.
survive. You know,
It is. You got to be tough to do either one. The training is if you train like you should, the training is tougher than the fight.
The training is tougher than the fight. Well, that's how you would want it to be, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want
somebody to
to
be hard on
prepare for a quote unquote war. You don't want to like, "Hey, I'm gonna smash this dude in 9 seconds and then go eat some Taco Bell. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're gonna be fucking in there in the fucking trenches with some dude trying to take you out.
Man,
So that's what you want to train for.
that's crazy. When you're in a fight and you go the distance, were you ever unsure of whether or not you won it? I
Yeah.
mean, like any of the wins that you had, did you know? Like, did
The
the
one-
fighters know before
Sometimes.
the ref calls it out, or is there ever like, I know they do the ceremony where they raise the hand.
Yeah.
Is there ever a time where the fighters are like, holy shit, did I win? Did I lose?
Some fights are just close. Like
Did you
the
ever
one I
have any
lost,
fights
it
like
was a
that?
split decision. Like one judge thought I had it. The other 2 judges, there's always 3 judges.
Right.
The other 2 judges thought that the other guy had it. So he won split decision. The one I won, it was the one we stood up the whole time. Yeah, that was a unanimous decision for Fred Weaver. So, but in that one, there was a split. There was like, I didn't know how they were going to judge that because on the feet, we weren't doing much because he was trying to kind of tape to me the whole time. And it was not fun for me to be haggling with him as much as we were, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's fighting people.
Now, did you ever have somebody that like just took you to the mat more than you wanted to, and ended up being just like a grappling match, or did you ever get choked out or
Get
black
off
or any?
me, dude.
Never got.
get
I've
off
tapped
of
out a few times. I fought John Salter, super good wrestler. He's actually about to fight for the world title in Bellator, another promotion.
John
besides the-
Salter.
John Salter, very good
Okay,
wrestler.
all right.
He took me down, and I could not get up. I just could not get up.
Was he just trying to like choke you out? Or
Nah, he was punching me.
oh, he's
He was
punching.
punching me a lot. I didn't enjoy it.
Oh, dude.
Uh,
so you're
but, yeah,
on the
he's-
ground, your head's on the mat, you're just getting
Like
punched.
I'm just getting hit. And like I am unhappy, and the ref stopped it.
The ref stopped it.
But he's a super good wrestler, super nice guy, and I hope he's a world champion soon.
That's cool. Well, that's cool. You talked about that earlier. That there wasn't really any bad blood between you and any of the other fighters that you fought. And-
Anytime like some people I still see or talk to on the regular,
Yeah.
like you've shared that thing that not a lot of people
Sure.
will get or understand unless you have actual beef with them. Then there's no reason to be anything other than brotherly with them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So after the match is over, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy I had my first boxing match against, the one where I tore my bicep. Like we talk all the time. Like we've trained together, super nice guy.
So you said you still talk to some of the guys. Does anybody ever roll to the gym or come hang out? Or
It's happened a few times over the years.
like, what's going on, man?
Like, what's up,
Let's
man?
spar a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the guy that I fought in my very first fight, he was from somewhere in Coleman, I believe. And yeah, when we got the gym open and going full swing, him and some buddies came down and they got some training in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. I mean, within the fight community, or rather, it should be. Like, there's no reason for, unless there is actual beef between people, no reason we can't cross train.
Yeah.
And that's how it is most of the time. Like, hey, we're in town, come work with us, or we can come to you, or do something to help each other, because
That's cool.
that's what the local community should be about, like
what I was
helping
gonna
each other,
say, yeah.
building each other up. Because like, hey, my gym's really good on the ground, we're good at standing up, let's do a seminar or just train together and help each other.
Yeah.
Keep it
Keep
the
building
sport
the
alive.
community. Yeah. Like the sport doesn't look like it's going anywhere.
That's
but
good.
why not help each other on the local scene?
Yeah.
And there is a lot of that. So that's cool.
That's good.
Is there an outlet for, say, like young men, maybe kids in high school or coming out of high school that want to get into this sport and want to do it the right way and not just start, fighting and
Showing up like some people did.
Yeah. What's the outlet? Join a gym?
Join a gym. Find a gym that fits what you want to do, or find somebody to talk to. I know a few people that are thinking about fighting, but they want to get in some shape and, go through the rigors of training and see what that feels like before they actually get in a fight, which makes
Sure.
total sense.
Oh, I would want to know if I'm up to par before I go climb the
Yeah.
ring like you did, man. That's crazy. You were just like, oh, I could do
Yeah,
this.
I'll do that.
Let's do that.
I don't know,
Never been
man.
in a fight before in your life, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go climb in the ring, fight somebody.
Yeah.
Do this.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man. That's
weird.
nuts.
It was a dumb thing. I wouldn't suggest anybody do it.
You
but
don't think you've
I did it.
sustained any kind of long-term damage from your? How many fights do you think you did total? Is there a number?
Over 50.
Over 50.
Easily over 50.
Over 50.
Over 50 over like 12 years.
That's a lot of punches.
That's a lot, of punches
yeah.
and kicks.
But
and
some of those
grabs
were,
and all that stuff.
yeah. Some of those punches were, I get in, hit the dude, he goes down, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I went to Kentucky to fight a dude in a farmhouse, I pretty much hit him once, and he crumbled. And I'm like, all right, well, cool. Road trip to Kentucky. There's nothing to do here. Let's go the fuck
Right.
home.
All
Let's go home. Yeah.
I don't even get paid for this.
It's crazy. But you don't think you've sustained any kind of
Nothing that lingers. Like,
Okay.
my knees are crappy, but that's just from years of running, playing basketball, and I grew up in a neighborhood where you played basketball,
Yeah.
so that's what we did. But nothing that
no concussions, no fogginess or anything like that.
nah,
At least that not you
just
know.
just regular dumbness.
Yeah.
But I came into it with that, which is why I said yes to fighting somebody in a cage with no training.
That's cool. Well, if somebody wanted to come train with you, how would they
Yeah.
find you or reach out to you?
Just hit me on Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, big_black_bird.
I
Yeah,
like
for-
the name. That's cool.
Dude,
I
that
guess
came-
from the big bird tattoo you have.
It was around before that.
Okay.
It came from an old Comic View joke. And I said it to a friend when he was leaving to go on tour. And I was, hey, look at that handsome guy. Oh, yeah, when I
Yeah,
had
man,
a
look at
mustache
you.
for a minute.
Dude, the
He is.
mustache works, man. That's awesome. You
Look
should
like my
bring that back.
dad. Yeah, that was quarantine boredom. He was going on tour, and I was tasked to hang out with his girlfriend, make sure she was okay and stuff, and their kids. It's like, if you do something stupid on tour, you're just gonna see me hop up like a big black bird and beat the fuck out of you. So they just started
The
calling
name
me
just stuck.
Big Black Bird.
Okay.
So when I
Cool.
finally got around to getting the Instagram, it was available.
That's cool.
2008. Kickboxing as well. Wealth of experience to pull from. He loves to train and help people learn. That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm a super helpful guy.
So do you have anybody that comes in that's just super out of shape and you're just like, we got a lot of work to do, man?
I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta
That's
start
the thing.
somewhere.
Like, showing up is the
Half the
hardest
battle.
thing.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
of the battle, I guess.
Like, you show up and I'll help you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I have got some people that come that want to lose weight, some people that want to get stronger, some people just want to learn to punch stuff for
Can
self-defense.
you do the little bag that like
You can. Yeah, speed bag. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never. I don't know.
I don't do it well, but I can do it. Like, I can't do the tricks like fucking Canelo and all of that, but
Yeah, that's cool. Well, cool, man. Well, Well, it's been awesome chatting with you, man.
Thanks for
and
having
learning
me.
about MMA
Absolutely.
and stuff. I'm so foreign to that whole world.
Yeah,
That's
it really
cool.
is a whole nother world.
So yeah, if you decide to get back into fighting, let us know. I'd love to come sit ringside.
I mean,
and
you're my
like-
first sponsor, so you'll
Yeah.
know about it.
We'll know about
T-shirts,
it. Okay.
shorts, gloves. We got you printed.
Hell yeah.
Ready to go.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming to hang with us.
Thanks for having me.